to the Cobra Cast for the first edition of the Coach Plattner Show. We are happy to welcome head boys basketball coach Mr. Brett Plattner for each week. Coach, welcome.
Thanks, Danny. Glad to be here.
Coach, what type of team are we going to be putting on the floor this year?
Yeah, well, first off, before we get into execution, and anything like that, you always want to develop a team that has a hard-nosed and effort-based attitude. So that's what we're going to be focused in on, especially with the Jamboree tomorrow. Our 3 points we want to deliver, not necessarily, we can't always control when the shot goes in or if it goes in or anything of that nature, but we want to play hard. We want to execute at a high level, and we want to rebound. And if we take care of those 3 things, I'll be pretty pleased headed into Friday. And on that token, too, as far as the team this year, I think I can pretty confidently say, with talking with my assistants, that, this being my 5th year, this is probably overall the most athletic team I've had as a whole. But there's a lot that goes into a basketball team than just athleticism, though. So hopefully executing at a high level, playing hard, like I just mentioned, and then being able to play together and ultimately knock down shots is hopefully what we'll see from this team this season.
Now that you mentioned the Jamboree, what do you hope to gain from it?
Yeah, I think the Jamboree is a great experience for us because sometimes the guys get tired of going against each other over and over at practice. And not only that, but the Jamboree gives us a chance to see some high-quality opponents that will exceed and or be right at the level that we'll see within our league. I just want to see some execution of sets, to be quite honest, because, when we're repping sets, 1s and 2s in practice, the 2s kind of know when we call out a set what the 1s are going to do, so they may cheat it or jump the passing lane because they know what's going to happen. But it'll be a good chance for us to execute those sets against a team that doesn't necessarily know what's going to happen and see if we can do it the right way. But also do some stuff defensively and see how flexible and how effective we can be versus different opponents as far as what we want to do in our style of play.
Alrighty. And with a couple of schools that we're going against, they have this thing called a shot clock, and it sounds like we'll be getting one too. What impact would you say that would have on us?
Yeah, I'm excited for the shot clock. As a player and as a coach, I've experienced some games that get kind of bogged down with 2 to 3 minute possessions from time to time. And ultimately, when someone comes to watch the basketball game, I don't think that's necessarily what they want to see. So I think increasing the pace of play will be something that'll be more exciting to watch. And ultimately, preparing our kids, if they want to go to the next level, that's what they're going to see. So preparing them for that level, but at the same time, too, making the kids be problem solvers on the fly. When the shot clock runs down, we have to have a clear plan about how we want to attack the shot clock being under 10. And just seeing kids, problem solve on the floor together is going to be fun.
Yeah. Our December schedule is pretty difficult. Do you think this prepares us for leagues?
Yeah. I've never really wanted to shy away from a difficult schedule. On one token, I was laughing with the other football coaches that, we're hand-strung and kind of hand-tied to what the schedule is in football, and it didn't necessarily push us a great deal this year. And on the flip side of that, in basketball, we're facing arguably one of the toughest schedules in 2A. So while our record may not be indicative of what we are as a team, we're definitely going to be prepared once postseason comes, and as we go throughout the season, improving and being forced to play at that higher level, we'll be playing our best basketball by the end of the year.
Good. We had a couple questions. One of them being, who is your biggest coaching influence for basketball?
Yeah, I would say it's not any one person, as most coaches will say, as they have several influences on their coaching career. First and foremost, probably be Scott Berger, who was my high school coach. Coached for a number of years, was highly successful and is pretty highly thought of within the industry. And he really taught me humility and also keeping everything in perspective. You can't get too high, can't get too low, can't worry about one game more than the next, and the ability to move on and stay focused quickly. And then I've had several AAU coaches and other coaches that, I've come in contact with, particularly my AAU coach, whose name was Jason McCoy. He taught me the ability to work hard, instilling that hard work in someone and making sure that if you weren't at 100%, that wasn't acceptable. 95 is not good enough. 96 is not good enough. That only 100% is good enough to be successful.
Again, well, Coach, I want to thank you for coming in today. Stay tuned for the next Coach Plattner show, and we hope to see you guys at the Jamboree tomorrow.
All right, thanks for having me on, Danny.
No problem.